Hey guys, it's me, Liv. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I have some exciting news to share with you guys. I was recently asked to be on the Fairy Hugs design team, and I'm super excited to be here. And I wanted to show you some of the items I recently received for my first design team. And I am today going to be creating a slimline card, and I just wanted to show you guys my process and how it was done. So I hope you enjoy the video, and thank you so much for stopping by. Now, first up, I'm going to use that watercolor paper that I received from my swap over from Rosalind. She did an awesome job with this, and the minute I saw this paper, I knew it would be perfect to use for this type of theme card. So I'm going to go ahead and use that Fairy Hugs Pigment Ink black color that they have and create it as a background here for the net. And this stamp is called the net stamp. So there's that. Because it is a pigment ink tends to stay wet a little bit longer, so I was able to actually use it to apply some black embossing powder because I really wanted to be a little bit shiny in the background. So that is what I'm going to do next, and then heat emboss it. Once that is heat embossed, I'm going to then move on to putting the seahorses directly onto the card. For this one, I decided just to use the seahorses with it and not to use the turtle, which I'm going to save for a different project. Next, I'm going to add some splatter using some of my white Delusion inks, and then move on to using the pigment here by adding a little bit of water to do some black splatter. So it's a combination of black and white splatters here on this card. Next up is the stamping, so I'm going to go ahead, place this down, get my seahorses positioned where I think I'd like them to be. And again, I'm going to go ahead and use the Fairy Hugs pigment ink here to get those seahorses stamped down. Now, with most ink, to get a really rich color, I do suggest you do at least 2 to 3 stamping in order to make sure that it pops up against the backgrounds when you're using more silhouette style stamps, such as these are. And I'm going to go ahead and add 3 more seahorses in here because this is a slimline card. It's definitely a lot more coverage area. Now my stamping is all done, and because this is a pigment ink, again, like I mentioned before, it does stay a little bit wet really quick, so I'm just going to quickly add some gilded flakes to give the seahorses a little bit more distressed look. It was starting to dry on me, so I add a little bit of my glue stick here, and then I'm going to go ahead and add those gilded flakes on there. Next, I decided I wanted to use some of the Fairy Hugs Coral Reef paper that was sent to me. And they actually make some of their own paper lines. So for someone who may not feel comfortable creating their own paper, this is a great option to use some of these really cool backgrounds that they have in their papers. So I went ahead and used my Trinity Stamps die here to create this scallop cut. It is a 6x6 paper, so obviously it's a little bit too short, but I figured if I use the sheet and cut them twice, I'm going to be able to do that because I'm going to be using the main seahorse piece to cover it up, so you won't even really see the lines there. So then I'm going to go ahead and trim down my seahorses so that they fit centered into the slimline card. Add some glue, and then there is the crux of my card. Next, I just need to move on to a quick sentiment, and I'm using some of the leftover paper that I have from the background and trimming it down. And then I had a sliver of the net paper when I trimmed off, and I decided to make a little border of the sentiment for that. Then pop it up with some foam tape and add my sentiment onto the front of the card. And here is my finished card. I will put all the links for the Fairy Hug store below. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.